There is no end in sight to the number of coronavirus cases in Wisconsin. Our state keeps beating its own grim records of cases, hospitalizations, and even deaths. Governor Evers called the increase alarming and announced expanded community testing to reach 48,000 tests every week. The U.S. Surgeon General says Wisconsin has the power to get the virus under control by Thanksgiving if people have the will to wear masks, wash their hands, and watch their distance. I talked to Vice Admiral Jerome Adams about the COVID-19 outlook the president is giving people. As you know, the president says that we're rounding a corner in this country. Have you talked to the president about states like Wisconsin where health officials are calling this a nightmare scenario?
Well, we just had a task force meeting yesterday, and here's the thing that I want people to understand. You can both be optimistic about how far we've come and how close we are to a vaccine, while also being very realistic about the circumstances that we're facing right now. It is true that we got now 5 vaccine candidates in phase 3 trials, and we expect to have a vaccine going into people's arms by the end of this year. Again, that's going to be up to independent companies and data safety monitoring boards to determine which vaccines get across the finish line. But all indications are that we will have a vaccine by the end of this year or early beginning of next year. So that is something to be optimistic about. We are almost to the point where we can start to put this virus away for good. But that said, we know that cases today are hospitalizations in 2 to 3 weeks and are deaths in 2 to 3 weeks after that. So we've got to be prepared when we see these rising case numbers in Wisconsin to know that it is going to get worse temporarily, but we have the power to limit how bad it gets and the power to turn it around if we all take measures. It's not either or, it's really both. Be hopeful, but also be realistic about the fact that we've got to get serious here, people.
He also encouraged everyone to get a flu shot. The Wisconsin Supreme Court could determine the fate of the governor's mask mandate. The court has agreed to hear a case challenging Evers' most recent state of emergency declaration. The court will hear arguments on November 16th. The mask mandate expires November 21st. Coming up, one of the closest Wisconsin counties in 2016, what people there are saying about the race for president in 2020.
Do you think what we saw over the last couple of months is motivating people to come to the polls?
It definitely motivated me.